Hello, my name is Marney Penn, and I'm a tour guide at Eastern State Penitentiary. I'd like to welcome you back to our bi-weekly discussion, Prisons and the Pandemic, where we examine the ways COVID-19 is impacting the lives of the incarcerated people, correction staff, administrators, and other stakeholders within the criminal justice system. Let's examine how jails and prisons are adjusting to the pandemic by granting hundreds of incarcerated people early release. Who remains incarcerated and who gets released? What if the data tells us we should also release people with violent convictions? Consider these questions as we look at today's highlights. There are now 9,877 confirmed cases of incarcerated people with COVID-19. That's a 102% increase since the beginning of the week. In total, 133 incarcerated people have died from COVID-19, which is a 36% increase since the beginning of the week. Cases among prison staff has increased by 15% in the same time, now totaling 4,824, and staff deaths have increased by 43%, now totaling 20. A new study contends that people convicted of violent offenses should also be eligible for early release amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Scholars from the University of Michigan Law School argue that states should widen their release efforts from those detained for inability to pay bail, technical parole violations, and minor misdemeanors, to older individuals serving long sentences for violent crimes. The majority of those people serving long sentences for violent crimes are over the age of 55, and many have chronic medical conditions that make them more vulnerable to the coronavirus. The researchers found that of violent offenders over 55 who were released, only 10% returned to prison, mainly for technical parole violations. Just 5% returned due to another violent offense. In your opinion, who should be released from prison during the COVID-19 pandemic? Should it only be people with non-violent convictions, or should people with violent convictions be considered for release too? My name is Marney Penn, and thank you again for joining us to Prisons and the Pandemic. As always, we look forward to your questions and comments. We at Eastern State Penitentiary wish you well and hope that you're continuing to take care of yourself during these unsettling times. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you next time.